Here. That's good. I'm glad that you all are here. And I'm glad that each and every one of you all have come here today. And I know we don't have much of Waynesboro, and I know you all told your friends and family to come down here to the Saving Our Youth event that was coming through Veterans Community Center, and some of them didn't show up. And they're going to miss out on some great testimonies, and they're going to miss out on some great messages. Although some of your friends and some of your families, they're going to be glad that they stayed home, because I'm not here to give a smooth message. I'm here to give a message that carries the truth, and that truth may in turn step on some of the feet and some of the toes in this building today. So I'm going to give you all the calm before the storm. My name is William Antoine McLean Jr. I'm a 9th grade student attending the Early College Academy at Lucy C. Laney Comprehensive High School. I was able to maintain all A's throughout this past school year, maintain a 4.0 GPA, and I received the highest average in several of my classes. I'm number 1 in my class. And then just as a freshman, I received a 1280 on the SAT. And also June 16th, 2 Sundays from now, I'll be going to Vanderbilt for this pre-college program, where I'll be taking a 10-day stay there on campus, going in depth on a certain course. And so just to let you all know, that was the calm. So now here's the beginning of the storm. Around 2 to 3 weeks ago, I reached out to this source that knew Waynesboro, Georgia, that knew Burke County. And the question that was asked was, what is the number 1 problem with the youth? And these are his exact words. The number 1 problem with the youth in Waynesboro is not being prepared to work. The number 1 problem for the youth in Waynesboro is not being prepared for life. And I was kind of nervous and I was kind of shaky about taking the information from him, because when I told my dad I needed to reach out to someone, he was like, I can call someone right now. Keep in mind, it's 10:30, 11 o'clock on a Saturday night. I'm like, call him then. He was like, I would call him if he wasn't drunk. So I was kind of like, whoa, hold up. I'm shaking my head in disbelief, because I need serious information. I need someone who knows Waynesboro. And he told me, he may be an alcoholic, but he knows Waynesboro, Georgia. And now I can tell he knows Waynesboro, because when I said the number 1 problem with the youth in Waynesboro is not getting prepared for life after high school, I saw some facial expressions. I saw some movements. I saw some actions that alluded and hinted at me telling the truth. So best believe that's what I will be speaking about today. And so I want you all to understand that Waynesboro is not the only city that deals with this problem. I know Augusta deals with this problem. I know Atlanta deals with this problem. I know Savannah deals with this problem. But this is really just a pimple that you have on your face. I know you all have felt that problem where you have a pimple on your cheek, but nobody else has a pimple on their cheek. But I promise you, they've had a pimple on their face, or they've had a pimple somewhere else. And what we have to do is we have to get rid of that pimple. It may leave a scar, it may leave some trauma, but we'll be better off in the long run. So point number 1, there's no longer a decision. Because in many of my speeches, prior speeches, I would have my message, I would have a problem, I'll explain what that is, and I'll give a solution. And then at the end, I would explain that it's up to you what you do with what I just said. It's up to you why you want to go through with it. It's up to you when you want to go through it. But dealing with this matter right now, there's no longer a choice. You have to get prepared for life after high school. And so, when you're getting prepared for life after high school, like I said, there's no longer any decisions, because I haven't paid my first bill before. I have not. But I know Bill's going to come to you and say, hey, sir, would you like to pay your light bill this month? Well, keep in mind, if you don't pay your light bill, we'll keep the light on for you. No, it doesn't work like that. This is a Motel 6. They're not keeping no lights on for you. Your lights, they're going. Your waters, they're going. Your utilities, they just might stay if you don't pay. No, they're going also. Your stomach doesn't come to you and ask you, do you want to eat today? If you don't want to eat today, I can still get you your nutrients. I can still make you feel full. I can still satisfy. No, it doesn't work like that. In other words, I'm explaining that your necessities just don't pop out of the thin air. So you have to provide for your necessities. And I want the youth in this building right now today, I want you to sit back and reflect and ask yourselves, have I been prepared for life as an adult? That's what I want you all to do. Sit back and ask yourselves, have I prepared myself for life as an adult? Have I been prepared? Oh yeah, and I'm not done. Parents, I need you all to ask yourselves, have I prepared my children for life as an adult? Have I done that? Aunts, uncles, grandparents, older relatives, I need you all to ask yourselves the same thing. Have I prepared them for life as an adult? And I asked the parents, and I asked the older relatives, the older family members, have you all done this? Because you all are the teachers. You all are the people that us as the youth learn from. You all are the role models. It's like a biology teacher. If she steps into a biology class and she teaches them nothing the entire year to her students, those students have to take an end-of-course test, which has information from biology standards on it. If she taught them nothing, they will fail that end-of-course test, which could lead to them failing the biology class. And so the students, they'll be mad. They'll be frustrated. And then they'll go and tell their parents, who will in turn be mad, who in turn will be frustrated. And you all will start marching to the Board of Education. You all will start protesting, complaining, trying to do your best to get that teacher out of the class. And this is a problem that many grown and gone parents of children go through. Because your child may be homeless. Your child may be a drug dealer. Your child may be dead. Your child may be in jail. They may be an addict. And they're mad and they're frustrated and they're disappointed, but they don't know what to guide that frustration at because they failed at life. Number one, like I said, they failed at life just like those students failed at that end-of-course test. Number two, they felt like they were not taught. Just like their biology teacher didn't teach those students, they felt like they weren't taught. And number three, they don't know where to direct that anger, that frustration, that disappointment at, because as parents, you're the only one given this responsibility of preparing your children for life as an adult. I'm going to break it down for you all. Those students of that biology class, they knew it was the teacher's fault because they've had teachers before who have given them information and they passed the test. But children, as parents, you only get really one shot at this test that we call life. And they don't expect anyone else to show them how to set up their finances, how to set up their life, every aspect, psychologically, emotionally, physically, spiritually. They're not shown that way. They're only shown by the parents, and they feel like that is the norm. But, however, none of the blame falls on those parents that teach their children everything. Because sometimes, let's just be honest, children, they don't listen. They don't pay attention. There's serious information that is given to them. They take it as a joke. They don't deem it serious. They don't deem it potent. They don't deem it important. So they just throw it to the back. And that can be contributed to many things, such as who they hang around. If they have friends who are disregarding what their parents say, disrespecting them, they're going to be the exact same way. A loss of a relationship. If a father or mother is lost, and it doesn't have to be due to death. It could be due to the streets. It could be due to jail. It could be due to addiction. And they lost a relationship. They lost another teacher who will show them the way how to be a successful adult. And last but not least, just plain old disobedience. They'll just ultimately go against what their parents say, disrespect them, and the whole nine. And what happens is, either way, bad teaching or not listening, it creates this cycle, this generational cycle that continues on and on. And I feel this is the number one cycle that needs to end. Because, let me bring it to you all. Alcoholics, they know how to find a way to get their next drink. Drug addicts, they know how to find a way to get their next fix. Gamblers, they know how to provide for themselves. Well, let me take that back. If they don't lose it all, they know how to provide for themselves. All of those cycles are horrible cycles, and you don't want those to happen. But the cycle of not being prepared, it leads to you not making genuine money or money at all. And I don't want you all to think it's too late for your 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old daughter or son, because if they're still here, they're still living, they're still breathing, it's never too late. I have an uncle who's 38 years old. He found himself in prison at the age of 20. I don't know if he was charged with the intention to sell or drug possession, but he received 5 years. And he's decided that he wanted to be a drug dealer because he would be able to provide money for himself in an illegal manner. Keep that in mind. And during those 5 years he was at prison, he pursued his GED. And he said that's when everything changed. And right now I do have his old ID cards, his Georgia Department of Correction cards, and his physician's cards that he received from the prison. So this was no joke. While he was there, he was given ID. He was given his PIN number and all of that. And so when he came out at 25, 26 years old, he started working with the local labor unions in Augusta, such as SRS, Plant Global. But then he saw that he wanted more for himself. He wanted more for himself. And I believe he wanted more for his daughters that he had. So he, at the age of 36 years old, he pushed for welder certification at Augusta Technical College. He pushed for welder certification at the age of 36 years old at Augusta Technical College. And he received that welder certification at the age of 38 years old, 2 years later. And just to give you all an idea, he works with an engineering firm out of Aiken by the name of E2 Consultants Engineer. He does contract work for SRS. And just some openings for welders with all their certifications is local labor unions such as SRS and Plant Vogel. Those railroad companies that are huge up there in Augusta, such as TTX, CSX. And they can make upwards of $40 per hour. And you all saw that he had to go through some things to find his stability in life, to finally be successful in life. He had to go through some things. He was shown by his mother, who worked a job for a long time, retired from that, then worked another job and retired from that. He was shown by his father how to work, who was in the military. So he was shown how to provide for himself in a legal manner, but he decided that it was okay for him to provide in a legal manner. But he ended up cleaning up his life and finding stability and success. And if you want to stand up, you can show who you are, because he is definitely a success. Definitely a success. Definitely a success. And I want you all to understand that there are other options. This is not the end. No matter where you're at, there are other options. Now, point number 2, other options. Can someone raise your hand and tell me where I said my uncle went to go pursue his welder certification at? Can somebody raise? Be courageous. Okay. Augusta Technical College. Oh, do you know why I pointed out Augusta Technical College? Because guess what? Other city besides Augusta has an Augusta Technical College campus. Waynesboro, Georgia. So now that's an option. There's nothing wrong with going to a 2-year tech school and learning a trade. I feel a trade sometimes is more important and better than a 4-year degree in a field that no one's hiring, such as music, journalism, psychology. Who's hiring in those fields? I'd rather get a trade and earn money quicker than have a useless degree. I remember speaking to this guy who was in the cybersecurity part at Augusta Tech, and he had a few more classes to go, and an employer approached him and said, once you get done with your class and your certification, you come work for me. And when you work for me, you'll be making upward around $76,000 to $80,000 a year in cybersecurity. And that's in Augusta. That's a huge pillar for cybersecurity. And this is a huge amount of money. It's enough for you to sustain yourselves and not have to look over your shoulder. That's as much money as a decent drug dealer makes. A decent one. And you don't have to look over your shoulder. But then for the younger children, and for those that are leaving middle school, going into high school, I want you to take classwork seriously. Such as in 8th grade, you have classes that are worth credits that contribute to your GPA. And that's what colleges look at. So now when you take your classwork seriously and you plan on being in a professional career, such as a doctor, a surgeon, a lawyer, a politician, you have to get prepared for college as soon as possible. And so now when you do that, and if you don't know what career you want to be in, it's your time to start researching. Find out what your interests are. Find out what your talents are. If you like observing sea animals, clownfish, lionfish, then look at some careers that observe sea life, such as a marine biologist. And then go more in depth with your research by finding out majors that fit a marine biologist, which will help you get employed once you leave college. And then definitely last, but not least, there's nothing wrong with looking for a job at the high school, a regular job. Many high-paying jobs do require a degree, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, even a doctorate degree. They require that, but many jobs, they provide you free training that they pay for that'll boost your salary. Just to give you all some personal testimony, I have a brother. His name is Jaquan, and he worked at Food Lion while he was in high school, 11th, 12th grade. And he worked there even after he graduated in 2016. And then he decided to move on to Walmart in Augusta, and he climbed the ranks up very quickly, and he was given an opportunity, a job, such as an assistant manager at Statesboro Walmart. And he had to go to Stockbridge, he had to do some training up there that they paid for. They fully paid for the training up there. They also paid for his necessities. They paid for his hotel. And then he was also being compensated, given a check while he was up there just learning how to be an assistant manager. And he ended up going to Statesboro, being an assistant manager, a successful one. And he's on the salary roll, making around $50,000, $60,000 a year now. And so I just want to let you all know those are options. Those are doorways. Those are pathways. And so point number 3 is the end of the storm. So I'm glad that we were able to come here today and find a solution to a problem that plagues Waynesboro, Georgia. And I know there might be some hard feelings from the youth after this speech or whatever. You may be mad, you may be frustrated, you may be angry at your parents for not teaching you. I know you want to go to your mom and tell them, you did not teach me, you failed at teaching me how to be an adult. That's why I'm like this. I know you want to do that. I know you want to. But we don't have time for that. We have much bigger and better things on our plate to handle with than to do that. And for us to be successful and prosperous, we can't focus on the petty nonsense. And remember how I spoke to you all about having a pimple on your face that we had to pop and get rid of. I had to show you all that you all had a pimple, because some of you all might not have believed me. So I had to bring a mirror to you all. I don't know that to my windows. But I had to show you all that you had a pimple on your face by bringing a mirror to you all. And so now, many of you all probably felt the pimple and said, hold up, I have a pimple on my face, but I got faith it's going to go away. You probably even looked in the mirror and said, well, I got a pimple on my face, but it's going to go away. But now I had to turn the mirror back to you all and show you have a pimple on your face and let you all know that we have to pop this and get rid of it. So now let's go into the petty nonsense. I'm just going to go around, right? And I just might stop. What's your name, sir?
Timothy Atwell.
Timothy Atwell, how you doing? So now what I need you to do is, I know what this word is. They know what this word is around you. I need for them over there to hear what this word is right here. Can you tell them what that word is right there?
Pride.
Pride. Okay. So now the thing about pride, I like that word. I'm be honest, I like that word. No, I'm just playing. I don't like that word. Because pride is a top killer in the black community. Many times we find pride extended in front of ourselves and it's away from our priorities. Can't nobody touch pride. And I'm going to give you all an example. A girl feels that a post was made about her on social media, so now she's messaging the girl because she's had pride beef with her. She's messaging the girl, she's calling the girl, she's sending her this out-of-the-way, wild message, and the girl's on the other line, well, I made this post in general. I didn't tag her. I didn't at her. I wonder why she feels this way. But now since my pride is out here, I can't look like I'm getting punked. So now I got to say, where do you want to fight at? Where do you want to meet up at? And it can get so serious to where once we fight, we both can leave in cop cars. We both can leave in ambulances. And for one of us, it may get so serious to where that's our last ride in a vehicle other than a hearse. And here's some true testimony. A dog just came out of jail. He was the big dog on the block before he left. And now he hears that you are the big dog on the block, so now his pride has to get lifted, so now he holds you at gunpoint, makes you strip butt naked, takes all of your stuff in front of your friends, embarrasses you. You're done like that, right? He tells you not to come back around here. And because your pride is out here, your pride is low, you got to build it back up. Next time you see him, you take his life at point blank range. He's dead here in jail. You face first degree murder. That's how much pride can get you. So now I know you all have probably rode a school bus before. I know I've rode one for a year. And you have at the front, you have the kids who are, successful. They're focused on them. They're loners, right? And they're just focused on them. They're focused on school. But then you have the kids at the back of the bus that have so much pride in them that they can't be jived on. They can't be talked about. They can't be bullied, because if you do talk about me, I got to build my pride back up. Now I got to curse you out. I got to jive on you. I got to bully you. I got to do whatever I can, which may get us in trouble. And that's how I need you to set your life up. Keep your priorities, keep your success at the front of the bus, and keep your pride at the back of the bus. That's how we need to set up our lives, because if we keep our pride in front of everything, you're a dead man walking, I promise you. So now I wish I had my paper towel. Please. Yeah, I thought they walked away on me or something. So now when it comes to that pride, we need to eliminate that from our lives. And so now when we eliminate pride, thank you so much, you're so helpful. So now, to eliminate that pride, because this is our life, to eliminate that pride, we got to take some Windex. Y'all see this Windex? glass cleaner. We got to take that pride. We got to eliminate it off our lives, right? So now I want to ask you all a serious question. What is the Windex in your life? What is the window cleaner in your life? So now when I ask what, I'm expecting a noun. A noun is a person, a place, or a thing. I'm not expecting a thing, such as actual Windex cleaner, to be your window cleaner. I'm not expecting a place to be your window cleaner. I'm expecting an actual person to be your window cleaner, to be your Windex. It can't be your cousin. It can't be your mother. It can't be your father. It can't be your siblings. It can't be your girlfriend. It can't be your boyfriend. It can't be your husband or your wives. That Windex cleaner, it has to be you. Because you're the one that says whether I want this in my life or not. You're the one that says, I want to protect this in my life. I want to keep this characteristic in my life. You're the one that has to go through that. So you're the Windex cleaner. And we're going to go through our lives together. So now I'm just going to stop right here. Tony, how you doing? What I need you to do is I need you to choose a word off of here, right? I probably know what the word is. I need everyone in here to know what the word is. So I need you to go ahead and yell it to the top of your lungs if you got to.
God.
God! I knew you was going to choose that word. I knew you were going to choose that. So now the thing about God, we always have to have some spirituality in our lives. That's a principle of life, having a spiritual leader. And in here, I'm pretty sure God is number one in your lives. Because God makes no mistakes. God put you out here on this earth, and God is leading you to your ultimate purpose, whatever that shall be. And you can't change that. You can't redefine it. You can't redirect it. He put you here for a reason. That's why he's number one in life. That's why he needs to stay number one in life. Because if you don't have him number one in life, you know who's going to take his place? The devil. A demon is going to take his place. So you have to keep him number one in line. For you to be successful, for you to be prosperous, you want to be happy, he has to be number one in your life. Your girlfriend can't be number one in your life. Your family can't be number one in your life. He has to be number one in your life. And if you don't mind me asking, Tony, why did you choose that word, God?
Because he's making create all things.
Amen. So now, do we want to keep God in our lives, or do we want to erase him with the Windex? We want to keep him. But many of y'all just take the Windex to him anyway. Just forget him. Don't go to church. So now, I'm going to keep walking. Now I'm stop right here, bro. Hey, Leon, how you doing? I need you to choose a word that has not already been said before, like God. Accountability. That's a tough one, right? Because many times we can't hold ourselves accountable, or we can't hold ourselves responsible, and we can't say that was my bad. I did that. Whether good or bad, we can't say that. We'd rather say that it was my bad, it's my job that I did that if it's good. But if it's bad, we don't want to hold that responsible. But in our healing process of understanding that we may not have been prepared for life as an adult, someone has to hold themselves accountable and say that I did this. If it's your parent to say that, I failed you at teaching you how to be an adult. That's my bad. May it come. And then if it's your bad as a child, you need to go to your mother and father and tell them, I'm in the situation that I'm at because of me. That's nobody else's fault. It's my fault. You need to hold yourselves accountable in life, because there are going to be some bad things that you have to take the consequences for. There's going to be some great things that you're going to have to take the results of. And so as good as you take the great things in life, you have to take them just as nice as you do the bad things. So now we want to keep accountability in our life, right? We do? All right, that's good. So now I'm going to stop at you right here, right? I want you to get a good look in the mirror at yourself, right? And I want you to choose a word that hasn't already been said. You're talking about accomplishments at the bottom. Accomplishments. That's fine, that's fine. That's a new word, accomplishment. The definition of accomplishments is something that you set out to do and you ended up acquiring it and obtaining it. Whether it's tangible or intangible, something that you can touch or something that you can't touch, it's an accomplishment. And many times we're glad that when it's the first person, possessive pronoun is in front of it, such as my accomplishment, such as our accomplishments. But when it gets to that second and that third person, when it's your accomplishments, when it's their accomplishments, when it's y'all's accomplishments, when it's his, her accomplishments, we don't really care about it. We don't, or we're mad or we're jealous about it. And that's not how we should be. We need to take y'all's accomplishments. We need to be as happy for y'all as we are for ourselves when we have accomplishments, when we achieve something, when we set out on a goal and we're able to accomplish it. We need to be just as happy for you all as we are for ourselves. So now how many more words? I got 2 more words. So now I'm about to take it. I haven't visited this side yet. So I might go this way. Oh, how you doing today? What's your name, man? Jarrell. All right. Did I get it right, Jarrell? All right, so now I need you to choose between one of these 2 words right here. And I need you to tell the entire community center what that word is. Dishonesty. She said dishonesty. So now that's a word. Many of us, we got to hold ourselves accountable for being dishonest. We got to hold ourselves accountable for lying. And as parents growing up, caring for these children, preparing them for adulthood, you can't always be dishonest to them. You can't always have dishonesty with them. You can't always lie to them because nothing will be sugarcoated to them in life. When a boss comes around and he has to fire you, he doesn't come up to you, hey, Tony, man, you know what? You're doing a great job. We're going to keep you here some more. No, he doesn't do that. He says, let me see you in my office. You're terminated. As simple as that. That's how life is. There's no such thing as sugarcoating things, covering things up in life. Racism is not covered up in life. There's no sugarcoating something like that. The hurtful, the hateful stuff. There's no sugarcoating that. So we have to be honest with the children. We have to be honest with adults in our lives for us to prosper and for us to succeed. So now I only have 1 more word left, and that's effort. I don't know why didn't nobody choose effort. But effort is something that we all have to have. And I hope y'all, I know y'all don't mind. Oh, I didn't cut my phone up. But I know you all don't mind if I bring into a Bible verse here. In Colossians chapter 3, verse 23, 24, and 25, Paul has written a letter to the people of Colossae who are devoted to serving their Lord. And he tells those people that he goes through the instructions such as women, wives, they need to obey they need to submit to their husband. Children, they need to obey their parents. And then also he gets to this part where he tells slaves to obey their masters. And he gets to that part and he says whatever the slaves do, they need to work at it with all their heart. They need to work at it with all their effort because they're not serving their masters, they're serving the Lord. And so that's what we need to carry it for ourselves. If he's telling slaves who are not being compensated, who can only wish to be freed and then finally make their own money, to give it everything that they have because they're not carrying the favor of their master, but they're carrying the favor of God and they're serving God because he talks about receiving an inheritance after your hard work and being repaid for your wrongs, and there's no favoritism. And when we speak on that favoritism, millionaires, billionaires, people below the poverty line, they're all treated the same. When it comes to receiving that inheritance, when it comes to being repaid for their wrongs, we're all treated the same when it comes to that time. And in other words, he's explaining that we have to give effort in everything we do. Because if we don't, it's going to fail and crumble. Many times, we feel that, why isn't this going right for us? Why is this relationship not working? Why can't I get this car to start? Why do I continue to deal with these health problems, deal with cancer, deal with diabetes? I just got cancer-free from stage 4 cancer. Why did I have to go back and battle with this demon again? Because we didn't give it all our effort. The doctor told you what to eat, how to eat it, what prescriptions you needed to take, and you didn't take it. You didn't give it all your effort. He wasn't asking for 100%, he was asking for 110, 127%. So we have to give our effort in everything and make sure it's for the reason of serving our God. And I want you all to understand, as parents, as adults, you all have to be successful, prosperous, to show the next generation how to be prosperous and successful. And then the next generation, then the next generation. So it's on you all's shoulders to prepare the future. So I thank you all for sitting down here and listening to this great word, and we were able to come to this solution. I pray for safe travels and safe vacations wherever you go, out of the state, in the state, out of this country right here, the United States of America. So thank you all for listening.